Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. This episode, we are going to continue our playthrough here of Hitler's Reich, and get ready, because you all will hold your breath, because Barbarossa is about to commence. Now, before I commence Barbarossa, I just want to say one thing that I realized last night, or actually over breakfast, because I like to read rule books over breakfast. I should have resolved this right away, because of the type of card it is when I got this Wolfpack card last night. But the thing is, and again, not to beat a dead horse, but it was hard to find that in the rule book. I had a hard time locating that kind of thing. That should all be in one place, organized, with all the symbols and stuff together. Not in two different places. I'm sorry. That's just my personal opinion. But, yeah. Okay. So, anyway. So, that's how I flubbed that up. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and start here with this episode. Well, see, the only thing is, I want to retroactively do the Wolfpack, but I also know that by reducing the Allied hand, it is going to significantly alter Barbarossa here. So, what do I want to do? You know what? I'm just going to do it. So, we'll resolve the Wolfpack first. Randomly, 1-1 enemy card, and then discard 1 conflict card. Okay. Now, since this is a recyclable event, this one will go in the box top, or for me, I just put it way over here on the left for myself, and that is eligible to be recycled at the end of the year. After both sides go through their conflict decks, then you will reach the end of the year actions from there. So let's see which one of these allied cards get discarded. Oh, bad luck for the Soviets. They could have used that here in a little bit. And of course their hand size now will drop down to 4. That's another thing too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to harp on this, but I'm kind of getting feedback as I play through this. Because quite frankly, part of what's been slowing me down in this playthrough is having to look stuff up in the rulebook. And, you know, little things like that. But most people, I think, and you know, if you disagree, by all means in the comments section, chime in. But I think most people would think that the top number is at the top, and you slide down a scale. Why the 0 is up top? Because in the rule book, when it says move it down, you know, down actually increases your hand size. Moving it up decreases it. And to me, that just seems, that's illogical from convention. So I think that was a poor choice on how the scale was organized. Again, just my personal opinion. As Dennis Miller would say, I could be wrong about that. Okay, so now to start this here, now that we fixed things and had a little discussion, we're going to unleash Barbarossa. Now again, Barbarossa is one of 3 special, what are called big push operations. You get them throughout the game. The other 2 are Overlord and Operation Bagration. The Soviet summer offensive in 1944 began June the 22nd, 1944. The destruction of Army Group Center is another way of phrasing that attack in the history books. Oh, excuse me. So here we go. We're going to unleash this operation, and the big push operations are something you can get in the game, but they are very difficult to get, because under normal circumstances, what you have to do is you have to select a card, let's say a 10, and then you have to roll your 3 dice, and you must roll less than that to get them, okay? So, yeah, as you can see, you know, you might want to choose your 13 card, but the problem with that, of course, is then you don't have it available for combat. So, again, I like this game system. I really do. It's interesting, the interplay, and I'm so curious to try it with my wife to see, you know, head-to-head, face-to-face, because I have a feeling it's going to be even more exciting than it is to play solo, which, I mean, granted, one could argue all games are like that, except for maybe ones designed specifically for solitaire play. But, at any rate, that's the only way you can get it. So I'll remove the Axis Big Push marker. Whoop, out goes the Nazi-Soviet pact. Thanks for playing. Here's some nice party gifts for you. An invasion, okay? Now, usually, big pushes are limited as far as what you can do. They're limited to the rule set. But Barbarossa is a special one, just like Overlord and Bagration are. So, let's go ahead and let's just go over Barbarossa here. Okay? So, Barbarossa, we remove the big push marker. Check. Okay? Then we're going to conduct 1 attack action on each of these 4 spaces: Crimea, Bessarabia, Minsk, and the Baltics. Now, I do need to be careful, because as a bonus action, I should be able to do a blitzkrieg here. Now, the thing about the Blitzkrieg is I have to take it right after the land I conquer. So, for example, if I want to try and blitz my way to Moscow after I capture Bessarabia, I have to initiate the Blitzkrieg at that point to try and get there. Okay, and you can do up to 3 Blitzkriegs in a turn. Now remember, Blitzkriegs are a double-edged sword because, yes, they let you to pound, 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 pound successively, but every time you do one, you have to reduce your hand size. Of course, except if you have General Guderian, which I do, but that only mitigates that by 1. So I'll have to reduce my hand size by 2 at least, instead of 3. Okay, that of course is predicating a successful attack. We'll see how that plays out here in a minute. Okay, so with that thought in mind, well, let's start off here. We'll start down here in the Crimea. We'll make the Crimea, where's my white thing? There's my white guy, so to speak. We'll start there in the Crimea, okay? Now, since I'm not planning on blitzing, I'm not going to use any of my cards, simply because I don't want to then have to flip it. Remember, after a successful attack, if you don't blitz, you have to flip it in your hand on your events section face down, and I want to be able to use those in my blitz, and I'm not going to blitz here in the Crimea first. Okay, now for a solo perspective, this might not have been a good time to launch Barbarossa. What you're going to do as a solo player is, since in Soviet territory, defending, or when the Soviets attack a territory, you must use a card that only has a red star, so I'll have to pick from these 3. Now again, one of the things I like to do when there's so few cards is I will shuffle them, okay? But then I'm also going to roll 6-sided die. And I think that's a good thing to do, just in case you have a very strong memory, because that also randomizes things further. So I did a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be the conflict card, whatever that happens to be. Okay, so here we go. Oh, well, okay. That's good news and bad news. The bad news is I should have used that. I could have used that rather for the Blitzkrieg part here. Okay, so again, we reveal our cards. Nobody played any events right now. The Russians are going to wait with General Twikov because, again, if they use them too quick, you know, again, if they lose it, he goes back to the pile. So you want to avoid that if you can. All right, so here we go. Unfortunately, I'm burning a very high card. Nothing can be done about that. So let's see. That's 10 more. That's 22. You know what? I need to roll for the Soviets, because technically if they roll 3 6s, they would tie, and then the Field Marshal would have to use the special ability. But they didn't. They only rolled a 10. Okay, so success in the Crimea. Sevastopol has fallen. So again, discard, draw a new card, and again, as a solo player, I highly recommend you shuffle, shuffle, shuffle right away, because it just makes things easier with that. Okay? Okay. Now, let's see. Well, now, of course, knowing what I know, that there's some strong Soviet hands there, I'm actually going to go to the Baltics next. Because what I'm going to do, just to show you how it works here, I'm going to go ahead and try to drive towards Moscow through here and go after this resource center too. That's where I want to do my Blitzkrieg, okay, with my bonus action, which I've earned already, incidentally. Okay, so let me go ahead here with the Baltics. And again, the Blitzkrieg, you have to launch it from the territory you just conquered. So that's very important. So that's why if I did the Blitzkrieg from the Crimea, I wouldn't be able to do it from any of these 3 spaces here. Okay, so again, I'm not going to choose an event card, and the Soviets are going to save their event card for bigger things that are coming, and also partly because I know there's 2 cards they still have available are pretty high cards. So let's see here. So they're going to use their Field Marshal. Ooh, but I've got a Supreme Commander. Dang it! To quote Blackadder, "Sir, might that be a loud or short, loud exclamation?" Oh, of course, Blackadder. Damn! If you like British humor and you've never seen Blackadder, do yourself a favor. Also, do yourself a second favor and skip the first one. I didn't think the first one was that good, but Blackadder 2, 3, and 4, outstanding. All right. Nobody played any cards. So here we go. Ooh, that's not a good roll for the Germans. 3, 3, 2. The Soviets rolled the 10. Okay, now. All right, so right now, let's do a little math here. All right, so 13 and 8 is 21. 10 and 12 is 22. 22! Alright. You know what? No guts, no glory. I'm going to be ballsy here. I'm going to re-roll, because I can. There's the icon, all three. I'm going to re-roll all three Axis dice. No guts, no glory. Or as we used to say when I played competitive chess, fortune favors the brave. We're about to find out if that's true. Well, it's kind of true. Sort of true. Now, the Russians can re-roll too, so I'm going to hold on to this 5 and re-roll these 2. My effort to try and slow fascist blitzkrieg towards cradle of communism in Leningrad. Ho! They might have done it too. Alright, let's do the math. So 13 and 11 is 24. 14 and 12 is 26. Ah, curses as the Wehrmacht. I have failed. Epic fail. Now, normally that would end the turn. But because this is the Barbarossa operation, I get to attack all 4. Okay, so I will go ahead and continue with Minsk and Bessarabia here in a moment. But curses! Now, on the plus side, the Soviets used up a very high card. So that's the good news. Bad news? Well, as I just said, there is bad news there. Alright, let's go down here to Minsk. I'm going to go ahead and attack Minsk at this point. And again, the Soviets are waiting for the blitzkrieg. They're going to try and stop the blitzkrieg in its tracks. I'm going to save my defensive cards here that I have as the allies to try and stop the thrust into Kharkov whenever it comes. Now, of course, as the German player with my German hat on, right now I could be like, okay. I could go ahead and say, well, but remember, the attacker has to place his event cards first, then the defender. So the fact that I didn't, right away, the Russians are like, da, there's no need. Okay, so let's flip. I'm not going to put anything here. Yikes. Okay, yo. Perhaps I should have launched Barbarossa a little earlier. May 1941, anyone? Now remember, I can, the special solo tactical rules here, I can discard this 3. But the question is, do I want to burn that 3 or not? Decisions, decisions, decisions. You know what? I am going to. Well, yes, I'm going to. So, burn. Whoops, wrong deck. And turn. Well, okay, that didn't change much of anything. So, chances are the Soviets are going to win this battle, too. So, 12 and 13, that's 25. Let's see. 18 and 4 is 22. There's no way to win that, so there's need to roll Axis dice. So that one failed, too. Yikes. And away, to quote Daffy Duck. I know. It's amazing I watch so much stuff and have so many cultural references when I'm doing so much time board gaming, right? What can I say? I pay attention to everything. As I always used to tell my students, I always skim at least every single section of the newspaper, even if I'm not interested really in the topic at hand. Okay, well, so far it's not so good. I'm going to go down here to Bessarabia now, though. And now this is where I'm going to bring out my big guns. I'm going to bring out my Stukas and my Guderian, because I've been holding on to them. Now, let me check the solo rules here real quick, everybody, on this Master Spy card and how it's supposed to be used. Okay, opposing side card, drawn at random and revealed. Then I can select any card of my choice from that side's events. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Master Spy too, because I really want to make sure that this Blitzkrieg gets rolling here. So the Soviets, only 2 red cards is what I have here. 1, 2, whoops, somehow I shorted them 1. Hang on. Okay, sorry, 3 Soviet cards here. Remember, we cannot use a white star. No, wait, oops, I messed up. Okay. Alright, well that's unfortunate. Yeah. But again, part of the vicissitudes of war when you're the lonely general. Okay. So they are going to use this one first. Now, as the Soviet player, I'm going to hold on to these other defensive cards because I want to use them on Kharkov. That's where I want to fight with them at. Okay, so they have done a 7. Now, according to the solo rules here, I can select any card that I have in my hand, which also gives me a chance to see all the cards in my hand. Whoo, I got a nice hand. But you know what? I want to save some of these. Ooh, I'm going to be able to blitz to Moscow here, boys and girls. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble. I'm going to play this double agent here. Now, granted, I won't be able to choose the card again, but just knowing what I have here, for those of you who are wondering in the handle here, you know what? I'll just share. Here we go. I mean, look at this. This is sweet. I got an 11, I got a 13, I got another 11. Well, that's not so good. Even the Saboteur is good because that lets you reduce your opponent's card to 1 also. So it basically comes down to a die roll and what event card you play. So that's pretty sweet, to be honest. Okay. So I played. Let's get rolling. Axis roll is pretty good. Got a 13 out of it. Soviet roll. Pretty good roll too. That's 12. So 12 and 7 is 19. And let's see, 10 and 13 is 23. Now I could have forced the Allies to re-roll a die if I wanted to. Okay. Now again, Guderian, I'm putting him out here so I can use him whenever I play the Blitzkrieg one here in a minute. Now I could have held on to it and played it separately, but just to show you how the Blitzkrieg thing works here, if you want to do a Blitzkrieg, you really need to play the cards that you want to use for that Blitzkrieg whenever you're launching whatever attack you're doing right now. Okay, so that actually finally was a victory. So I guess Commandant Stalin put his toughest units in the north, which is kind of the reverse of actually the Soviet deployment in 1941. They put all their strong units in the south to protect the industrial regions. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so let's clean up here. So this card back here. New card into the deck. And again, shuffle. And again, you know, I highly recommend if you really want to make things random, roll a die. Just however many cards you have, roll it. Alright, now, let's check out the events as part of cleanups here. Okay, so this is, the Master Spy is a returnable event. So now, the returnable event means, of course, that I'll put it face down and hand it to my opponent, who then would give it back to me and I can flip it in the next preparation phase. However, since this is one that's both sides, I'm just going to toss it over here because, you know, it's not really necessary to do so. Now, these are both win-losses. I won. And I am going to declare a bonus action here. I'm going to launch a Blitzkrieg with it. Okay, so here we go. So, I'm using one Blitzkrieg up. And I'm going to use Guderian's special ability here with my Blitzkrieg, for my Blitzkrieg attack into Kharkov. Alright, so I'm committing both of these cards. And now this is where the Soviets are going to make their stand, I've decided. They're going to play General Twikov, and also this reserves, which will allow them to add a die to the battle. So this is going to be a huge showdown for the industrial city of Kharkov. Alright, so we played our event cards that we want to use here. Now we'll play our conflict cards. Here we go. What will they be? Dun dun dun. So at least only have two choices. Let's see what they're going to end up with. They're going odd this time. Alright. Alright, let me just make sure here on the thing you can see everything. Great, you can. Okay, here we go. Which one should I flip first? Let's do the Soviets. The Soviets have a 6. Ooh, that's an 8. Now remember, I have that special ability. I'm trying to remember all the cards in the Axis hand right now. Fortune favors the brave. I'm going to discard and burn and turn. Ready? Steady? Go. Okay, that's a little better. But I'm still going to lose ties. Curses. Okay, so now I will go ahead and roll conflict and any bonus dice. Now, again, Kharkov is well defended. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 friendly spaces around it, so I can't get an attacking bonus die. And the defender never gets an attacking bonus die. It's just denying the attack of them. But nope, I just get my 3 dice. That's it. Here we go. Okay, pretty decent roll, actually. 5, 4, 3. Not too bad. Okay. Alright, now, the Soviets. let's see what they've got here. So they'll start with 3 dice. I will get a bonus die, thanks to the reserves. And what does this one allow me to do? When defending, add 1 die to a maximum of 5. So I am maxing this out to 5. Ooh, this could be interesting. Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. To quote Betty Davis in All About Eve. Which, by the way, if you've never seen All About Eve, do yourself a favor. Watch it. Don't let anybody tell you about it either. It's like watching The Usual Suspects. Okay. Now, we're up to the step where we use event and marker effects. Well, we don't have any markers, okay? I can use the Stuka to require them to re-roll 1 die, but let's do some math here first. Okay, so the Soviets have 7, 11, 14, and 6 is 20. The Axis have 9 and 3 is 12, and 10 is 20. There's that number again, 22. Sorry, I'm a big fan of Casablanca. I apologize. Make sure I did that math right, because like I said, math is not my strong point. So 7, 11, and 3 is 14, 20. 8 and 4 is 12. Yep, 22. Okay, so I don't have to force them to re-roll anything. I am successful. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so it's on like Donkey Kong. So I have conquered Kharkov for the Axis. All right, time to clean up. So we'll go ahead and we'll put our dice away to start. Let's get rid of our conflict cards. So actually, changing that card from an 8 to a 10 was important to victory for the mighty German Wehrmacht. Ooh, that's bad news for the Allies. Okay, so now I can still use these, but I can only use this once per turn, the Guderian ability here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back and flip it down because I can't use it again. And remember, when you lose a battle with a win-loss, it goes back to the deck. So the stand at Kharkov, not so good. This one is recyclable, so it would go face down over to me before it's eligible again to be pulled. But again, since it's an Axis ally one here, I mean, I guess technically I should do it. But I guess then, you know, since it's an Axis allied one, you probably should turn it sideways like I just did there. Can you see it? You know, I turned it horizontal to signify that. And I'm still going to blitz, so I'm going to leave my Stukas in place there. Okay. And now, I looked this up last night. Again, this was something that I was like, well, wait a minute. When you get a production bonus, because that's one of your bonuses that you can get here. As you can see, I just conquered a production center. Okay, which also, by the way, will hurt the Allies. They'll have to discard 1 card at random, and because their hand size is going down. Alright, so down they go. And I have to do my production bonus instantly, which is basically an event action if I want it. I'm going to go ahead and do this event action. Because, I wonder though, if I do that and interrupt the Blitzkrieg, no, you know what? Let me take a look and see. Hold on. Let me look here. Let me try. I'm not going to drag things out for y'all, but let me see if I can quickly, where's some wood? Knock on wood. Let me see if I can quickly figure out, here we go. Okay, so I don't need that rule. What I need is the rule on Blitzkriegs here. So let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's what I want. Complete Blitzkrieg. Follow on any Blitzkrieg before attempting another action. Exception. A production center success bonus does not halt possible further Blitzkriegs. Unless that production center bonus conflict resolution fails. Ooh. So I will be taking a gamble. But you know what? Since I'm so hot with the dice right now, I'm going to go ahead and forgo the production bonus. Now, normally you wouldn't want to do that, okay? And the production bonus is basically fighting over event, like I showed you in the first video. So, yeah, I'm going to keep marching and do my second blitzkrieg here. So, whoops, let me get another gold cube here. Sorry, try not to reach in front of the camera too much if I can help it. Alright. Now, I will have to reduce my hand size to 8, so I got to get rid of a card at random. Hopefully nothing good. Okay, that's not bad. It's a lieutenant card. I can live with that. Alright, so I'm playing this event. The Allies do have counterattack as event. Let me see this. I haven't used this yet. Okay, at the end of the land conflict, can reroll one or more of their dice. If none are rolled, put it back in front of the player available for use. If it's rolled... Okay, you know what? I'm going to do this because I don't want them to enter the door. Or should I save this for Moscow? Let's save this for Moscow, just in case. Because if Moscow falls, that's going to be a problem. Alright. So, now the Soviets, or I should say the Allies, do not have any Soviet cards in their hand, interestingly enough. Okay, so there is that restriction in the rules, but as it says... Let me go ahead and read it to you, just so you know. Let's see, where's it at here? See, again. Yes, you have to play a Soviet card if it is available, or a double agent, but I don't have any available. I just looked at the 3. They're all white stars. Okay, so I will have to, or I will need to play whatever I want here. So let's get the resolution cards here. Let's get them rolling. Alright, now I'm a little nervous about this as the Wehrmacht commander, because I know from just looking at these cards a minute ago to see if there was a red star, there's a Supreme Commander card in there. So let's see what the Wehrmacht gets. An 11, pretty good. Okay, they got a 9. Now that's good news and bad news. Good news, I could probably win this combat. Bad news, that 13 is still in there. Oh no. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like that one character on Family Guy. Oh no. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know what's up with the cultural references today. I'm sorry. They're just flying through my brain for some reason. Alright, let's do this. Here we go. Axis, rolling back. Ouch, 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 ouch. That stings. I'm definitely going to need to use that ability. The Allies. I guess this could symbolize the early arrival of those Lend-Lease tanks. I remember reading that in Barbarossa Unleashed, which, by the way, if you like the Eastern Front of World War II, pick up Barbarossa Unleashed by Craig Luther, I believe is the author's name. Massive book, but worth it. One of the best, if not the absolute best book I've ever read on the Eastern Front. Barbarossa Unleashed. There's a whole section that talks about the Germans running into British tanks in, I believe, October of 41. Woo! The Allied roll was good. Okay. So right now, let's do some math. So we got 15 and 9 is 24. And we got 11 and 9 is 20. That's not going to cut it. Okay, so again, we're going down here. Resolve event and marker. Okay, so I can require the Allies to reroll one Allied die of Axis choosing. Obviously, it's going to be this 6. Survey says 3. Okay, so I cut that in half. Okay, now I can reroll an Axis die here. So we did that. So now conflict card special properties. That's this. So I'm going to reroll this one. Big money, big money. Well, little bigger money. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. So 7 and 5 is 12. And 9 is, again, that was never my strong point, math. Okay, well, let's do the math here. 12 and 10 would be 22, so 21. So 21, blackjack, versus 9 and 11, and 11 is 22. Whoo! Did I do that right? Let's make sure. Let's see. 12 and 5 is 17, and 4 is 21. 11 and 6 is 18. 18 and 3 is 21. 2 more is 23. Ooh. Ooh. So victory goes to the Axis by a gnat's whisker in Belarusia. Wow. Can't cut it much closer than that, folks. Whew. All right. So, restock the Axis hand. And I'm going to blitz to Moscow. I'm going for it. I don't care. Let's see what this card is. Oh no, bad news for the USSR. Wow. Okay, I am risking reducing my hand size for sure, based on what I saw. So, and I guess when you think about it, you know, when you play a game solo like this and you're doing stuff like this, you could think of it like it's intelligence reports. Okay? Alright. Not again. I swear, I'm going to make a note to myself every time I get ready to make a video. Make sure the battery's fully charged. Okay, let's see if we can get this done before I run out of battery here. So, Axis drops their hand again to do this Blitzkrieg. Third and final one I can do. But I randomly have to get rid of a card. Oh, good. It's only a 9. Because I know there's still a 13, and I think there's a 12 still hiding in there. So here we go. Now, this is a capital situation. Capital defense. Okay? Automatically gain a bonus die. So the allies will get a bonus die. Now here's the problem though. Yikes. Oh, shoot. Ah, but wait, it's 1941. Oh, what should I do it? Yes. There's got to be a bigger card than a 1, right? Oh, raise the roof. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. 3 dice for the action. Not too bad. Especially since I can reroll all 3 if I want, based on this. Now, the Soviets get 4 dice. Hold on to your butts. Woo! That was a good roll. But is it enough, even right off the bat? Let's find out. So they've got Soviets, as you can see. They got what really could be the best roll for them. Oh, I should have played the counterattack. I forgot. I got so wound up and excited I forgot about the counterattack. Alright, so this is 18, 20. That's 10, 11. 13 and 11 is 24. So, with a perfect storm, and I do mean an absolute perfect storm of events, Moscow has fallen, which reduces the Allied hand size by 2. On the well, actually, you know what? I better double check that rule. Let me see. Let me see if I actually would reduce it by 2 when that falls. Yeah, hand size track by the same number to indicate reduction. So 2 for losing Moscow. So the Allies are down to 1 card. That's important because if I can kick them over 1 more, it's all over, boys and girls. Wow. Oh. Whew. Alright, let's quickly clean up here. So that I can try to do this before my battery runs out. And see if there's a way for me to finish this off. Okay, so. Rebuilding my hand up here. As the Axis. Okay, and then as the Allies, I have to randomly discard a card. Wow, okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Since my battery's running low, let's finish the cleanup. Now remember, that's the last time I can use that because I was using it for that Blitzkrieg. So that actually worked out great. That was worth reducing my hand. Now, I still have a bonus action I can do because of all these land combats, I'm pretty sure. Because the first action, bonus action. Let me check the Blitzkrieg rules here real quick though. Because I'm not sure if I can still do that. Let me see. Before attempting another action other than Blitzkrieg. So So, but I do have the bonus action. Oh, you know what? I do have the bonus action. I could try to get Wolfpack, and I could try to reduce the Allied hand. Let's see if I can quickly get that done. Yeah, because with the production center bonus, I can take that. So where, I think I have one, yes, I have 1 Wolfpack left. Can I bring the Allies to their knees? This is going to be tight. I have nothing to play to support it, though. If the Allies do, They have this counterattack. Oh, I can't use it for an event, only for a land conflict. Now, this is going to be interesting because I know what this last allied card is after the flip. You want to see what it is? It's the big one. Oh, this is going to come down to a die roll. Hold on to your hats. Here we go. Because this Saboteur reduces one enemy card of your choice to a strength of 1. Oh, but they will get to retain their ability, so they can still reroll dice. So here we go. So the Axis needs a big die roll. And they got an 8. Alright. Allies. Let's see what the Allies get. Ho! They got 14. So they win this. So the wolf pack will not happen. If it had, the game would have been over. I would have reduced them to 0. And that would have been that. Wow. Okay. Wow. That was rather exciting. Don't you think? Okay. So, at this point, I'm going to close this video. Return this back to the deck. It would be the Allied turn now with their measly one little card. They've got big problems. They have got to find a way to recapture Moscow. And I need to look up those rules anyway as well. So, what I'm going to do is I will let you know what happens here with this. But I'll come back with a new set of videos whenever I try the Axis bot. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet because I've seen some people commenting on either Comsole World or BGG that it's good to use the Axis bot for the conflict resolution, but the rest of it is a little tough. I'll get back to you on that with my opinion when we get that far. So, this is Blitzkrieg Commander Extraordinaire, Tim Korchnoi, who made it to Moscow. Right before the end of the year, too. Look at that. I got, what, 1 card left in my deck? I got 1 card left in the Axis deck. Right before the snow's closed in on me. Saying, thanks for watching Bare Bones Wargaming. And I will see you next time with the solo version number 2 of this game, the Axis bot. See you then.